Hello guys, welcome back. So I wrote out and I caught my god. I told you all about that on Patreon. And also over on Patreon for patrons, there is a nighttime ASMR thing. So be sure to go over and check that out. That's just for you guys. And I caught my god. And we had to do a huge amount of deep healing work. I had to get out everything I want and everything I'm afraid of. And we really had to go all the places I was afraid to go. It was just time. It was like I can see why I was starting to have issues with this said deity. And we got a lot of progress made. Um Brought some incense up, lit some incense. I've been bringing stuff back up a little bit at a time. And Loki's perfect timing. I went down the basement to, change the water and try to bring up some more incense. And of course, I saw one of Loki's little emissaries going doo 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 across the carpet, and I screamed, and he was laughing hysterically. He knows I'm terrified of certain things, and he was like, ah. So, that happened. And it was like Loki's blessing because I was really worried about Loki too. And Loki's like, oh, Loki's staying. It's just that Odin wanted to put a firmer claim on me. And Odin didn't think he had enough scruff on me, so Odin chested the scruff on me. And I was kind of just hanging there like a little scruff puppy, like, now what's he gonna do with me? But it was something we had to go through. It was a lot of issues I was afraid to face with Odin because I didn't think he would care, and we had to face like some of my deepest, darkest issues, which we won't get into because it's not going to help you. And it was good. It's not going to be like an overnight instant fix, but it was good, and we went through it. And he gave me some good advice, which I'll pass on. He said, "Don't let anybody else's issues with a god affect you," and that includes me, by the way. Don't let anybody else not getting what they want affect you, and don't let whatever the outcome of their relationship was affect you. I've had a lot of relationships with a lot of gods, and they all ended, but they all ended in a good way, and they all ended where I moved on. Not, like who I moved on, but, I kept going. I kept going, and they were all pretty damn good about making sure I was headed in the right direction, heading towards the next one. It just happens to a lot of us. Some people get one deity, like some Christians are born in a Christian church, and they grow up and they live their whole life with that one deity, and that's great. That works for them. Some of us, we go through 20, 30, 40 deities before we reach the one. And once we reach the one, you kind of know. I kind of know because no matter what I pull out of my bag of tricks, Odin has an answer for it. Loki can be exasperated, but Odin gets this eerie sense of calm about him of, go ahead, pitch a fit and fall in it, tell me everything you don't want, because I had a total breakdown today, and just, it all came forward, all this deep stuff that had to be healed, and he was perfectly fine. Loki can sometimes get appalled and not deal well with emotion. Odin was perfectly fine. He's like, it's okay, I'm the god of ecstasy for a reason. So we did a lot of stuff we had to, and we cleared the air. And I think a lot of what was happening was I was letting other people's bitterness affect our relationship, which you can, because if you're online and you don't need to have a YouTube channel or write articles or anything else, and people know you work with a deity, they'll feel free to come up and tell you every bad experience they've ever had with that deity because they're being spiteful. And he says, well, some people overshare, some people make up stuff, and some people were just spiteful because the relationship ended. They're going to go ruin it for, everybody that came after them. I don't begrudge any of the deities that I used to work with a new relationship. In fact, I love them enough that I hope they're happy with whoever they work with now because, they were as good as possible to me. It never quite seemed right. It never quite seemed like the one, where with Odin it does. But with Odin, he knows I'm being cautious because I've seen how some women get with Odin. They go overboard, they get way too intense, they burn out, and then they're not working with Odin anymore. You can't find them because they're no longer working with the Norse gods. Or they decide that they need to have this one thing. And Odin is one of those gods that if you keep pressing him, I've noticed from a lot of stuff I've read, he'll go, okay, you want it your way, and he'll give you your way. But once you get your way, it kind of gets, okay, that's what you really wanted, all the relationship fun, you got your way. And sometimes it seems like those relationships do end. You know what I mean? Look, he's the same way, that if you really push him for something and really push him for something and really push him for something, he might give it to you, but then the relationship's over. We humans are the same way. You ever know someone that kept pushing you for something, pushing you for something, pushing you for something, you finally gave it to them, and then you just walked away because that is not what you wanted out of the relationship, but they insisted they had to have this damn thing, and it didn't have to be, a physical thing. It could have just been whatever. And you gave it to them, then you were like, okay, I'm done, because that's apparently the one big thing you wanted, and you're done, because that's really the one big thing they wanted. So we had to be totally honest with each other and talk about what we both wanted and what we were both afraid of. Um, it was actually really good. It was actually really good to be open for once, because Geminis aren't good at that. We're not. We're very surface people, and I'm very close to being Taurus cusp if I'm not, depending on, how you read your charts. So I'm very stubborn about it. I'm very stubborn about not wanting to deal with the emotional stuff. So that's really good. And I think my moon's in Aries too, so it's like I have so much going on in my life already, but it was good, and it was stuff we needed to talk about because we hadn't. And I just hadn't given Odin enough credit. I don't think anybody that works with him gives him enough credit, and it's not because Odin, bestest god. I don't think anyone who works with any god in a way gives him enough credit, because everybody who works with every single god ever always writes this one article of, wow, I didn't know they could do this. And it's like, yeah, because we don't give our gods enough credit. We don't mean to do it. We don't do it on purpose. But we always think, oh, they won't care about that, or they won't care about this, or this isn't their concern, or they're not, the god of whatever. If Love is Blue did not tip me off, and all the blue didn't tip me off, and the wolves didn't tip me off, the night threw me. The night threw me, the moon threw me. A couple other associations threw me, but I'm like, if these are the associations the All Fathers picked up with me, then so be it. That's what I'll have. Um, so it had to happen. It had to happen. And we did have the discussion of, I told him there's going to be a point we're going to reach where it's going to be one Odin video too many, and there just won't be a channel. And he's like, your future is, we're not ending the channel because your future's livelihood and whatnot is probably not going to come from that channel. In other words, if Odin's going to take care of me, it's going to be from a source other than the channel. And it's not like Loki's going away or Loki's leaving, but Odin's being very Odin about this. If you work with him, you know what I mean. So he got to keep both the candle things as tokens. And it looks like his book, I think I told you already, is going to ship, hopefully. I don't begrudge him a book. And we're just being very conservative with our money right now. I'm not in any danger, but at the same time, I'm like, well, we know we have bills coming up next month. You know how you get some bills quarterly? And I said, with the heat the way it's been this year, we might have grass cutting go into another month that it's never gone into. And I said, I want to be, a little more conservative. So we're going to see what we see. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.